And hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 142 for Around the Ballpark podcast. And just working out something with the sound. It's a little bit off on my end. How are you doing, Darren, as I work on the sound?
Well, I'm doing as good as I can, being where I am. But we don't have to get into that. I'm still a little freaked out about where I am, especially because, as you can see, it's nighttime. But if you look, somehow it's nighttime, but yet there's sun coming through the bars and shining on the wall. I don't know how that is. That's how deep underground they have me. It's crazy.
Well, you look comfortable, at least, though. I can say that.
You see, I don't want to say that I'm more dedicated than the average bear. No pun intended, Paddington. But, like they gave me one phone call and this is it. Even though I'm locked up right now, I wanted to be here because it's that important to me.
And shout out to the staff. They let you have cam access and everything. That's amazing.
Well, I let them I'm going to do the warden's taxes. I think that's what they do. I got that idea from a movie. I don't know what that movie was, but I have I don't know. And I'm going to do his taxes.
You're going to do his taxes? Okay, but are you alone there, or do you have any friends with you? Or?
No, well, so far I've only been here since the weekend, and you remember how I got here, right? I mean, I don't know. Should I share with everybody?
I think you should share because people are jumping on and inquiring what you need to know.
Because here's the thing. Remember, we both got phone calls from Paddington, right? He's like, I love being on the show, even though I don't wear pants. But I'm going to be in just for the weekend. And you were a little under the weather, so you weren't able to go. And Paddington, he's not a ne'er-do-well. He's a wonderful person. But we went to a sporting event. We went to see kids play shuffleboard, which was kind of exciting. And he got a little rambunctious. And so I got him out of there. And I accidentally went through a red light. And I got arrested. And here I am. It's not Paddington's fault. Though you would thought that he would have, bailed me out. But he said his wallet's in his pants. And since he's not wearing pants, here I still am.
And he only has the one pair that we know of.
That's right. That we know of. That's right.
Yeah, and he doesn't wash them enough, so it could be a while. So you might be there a while, basically.
Yes, and we do know the other thing about him, too, is when he's eating food, he somehow gets a human hand, right? We learned that the other day.
Yes, he does. Now, but so now is the Wi-Fi signal there seems to be pretty good, or?
Yeah, so far, yeah. I mean, that's what they say anyway. We'll see, but so far so good. I don't know if there's a time limit on it, but right now it seems pretty good. I'm okay.
And any first-time listeners watching this, we welcome to the podcast. This is what we do. We do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but we couldn't do what we do without the fine folks at National Tax Solutions. So we have to give them a shout out, of course. So even from where you are in your location right now, can you help us out and give us a shout out to Chris Bennett and his team?
Well, first of all, I was literally just having dinner about 5 minutes ago with my family. Oh, by the way, people, this is actually just a background. Shh. But anyway,
I was going to say the families they're allowed to be there with you. That's awesome.
Yes. So, yes. And we're watching the Tampa Bay Boston Bruin game, and I was like, boy, I wonder if he's there, if Chris is there. I'm like, he's everywhere. Yeah. So, but hey, if you're dealing with tax issues, maybe you're behind on filings or you're getting hit with a lien, let me tell you about the fine folks at National Tax Solutions. These folks, they know their stuff and they actually care about helping you fix it. I've heard from a lot of people from Palm Bay, Fort Pierce, who said that Chris Bennett and his team turned a financial nightmare into peace of mind. That's the kind of help you want to have on your side. And again, we're at 4,000 viewers and growing right now. And Chris was with us from the beginning. So, if tax stresses keep you up at night, don't let that happen. Call 855-627-4829. Visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com. Nashville Tax Solutions, real people who get real results.
Thank you, Darren. And just a couple quick shout outs. Thank you, Mike, for congratulating us on the 4K. Super excited. We believed it was going to happen. Didn't think it would happen as soon from where we were just about 2 weeks ago, but we are so very grateful. Current count is just over 4,000. I think we're at 4,002. So that is awesome. On Deck for Christ is here. Congrats on the 4K. Soup Bead, as always. And Soup Bead, let us know in the chat, or you guys know what. Yes, we got to know who you are. Like, is that your actual birth name, Soup? Like, is it Soup, first name Soup, last name Bead? What's your favorite kind of soup? Like, inquiring minds, you come in, you comment, and you disappear like Batman. But we really like to know a little bit about you, Soup Bead. And a few others on there as well. But thank you guys for joining us. And you're watching which game right now? The Bruins and the
Tampa Bay.
And Tampa Bay. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What's the score currently in that one?
I saw that right before we went on. I saw that it was tied. I don't know if it's still tied, but it was. So
okay. But I wanted to and tonight the big milestone was not expected, and we thought tonight would be a lot of fun to just kind of recap some of our favorite moments from some of our earlier episodes. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to share a little bit about a recap of the Royal Rumble. I'm not going to go into a deep, long conversation.
I actually have questions.
Kind of give my thoughts. You have questions. I've got answers. Hopefully, Soup Bead has some answers. Eileen wants to know who is Soup Bead. Perhaps we'll find out. We'll see. Hashtag what is Soup Bead? Who? Hashtag who is Soup Bead? So, and when Tommy's here with us as well. Thank you, Tom, for watching. You're up late. I appreciate it. I know you're usually in bed by now. Send me a message, Tom, if you are still or if you're available. I will send you the link. So long day on my end. Just got home a few minutes ago. Got this turned right on. So, Darren, did you put in the normal 5,000 hours at work this week?
So let me tell you about this week. So I not nearly as many as the previous week, but this week was about 75 hours, 70 hours. But the highlight of my week, as you know, is I'm the head coach of our Special Olympic adult basketball team. And it really is a wonderful thing. We had a doubleheader this weekend, and to see some people who, they've never played the game before, and they're out there, they're hustling, they're feeling part of a team. We had somebody this past weekend who really never played the game at all, and she got her first bucket ever, and she just started jumping for joy. And it's just
that's so cool
and lovely, and it's great. So, and we have a bowling tournament next week. We have more basketball next week because I also coach our bowling team as well. It was the best. Hi, Laura Carson. It was great, and people were crying, happy tears. It was just nice, and just.
That's awesome. And do you have a lot of? Like, do you have a lot of like road games and stuff like that? Like, do you travel long distances or not?
So for flag football, when I was coaching with the children's, because I do adults now, we traveled off of the Cape. That's the term we use if you go to a game off of Cape Cod. But these games are these games are on Cape, and they travel about. We travel about half hour to get there, depending on traffic. And the games start at 1. We have 1 at 10, 1 at 11. So it's to get up. We have meds and breakfast, and we got to get moving, and it's great. And we had practice. We had basketball practice on Thursday night, bowling practice on Friday night, games on Saturday. It's 6 and 8 degrees, and nobody's complaining. Everybody's just doing. It's great.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And how long is your season typically? Like, does it go for?
About a month and a half. If you make the playoffs, a little longer. And the bowling right now is just a tournament. The season starts in a couple of months.
Yeah, that's awesome. So one thing I wanted to ask you was, I know you said you had questions about the Royal Rumble, and so I want to go there first. So that was this weekend, this past Saturday, and it was a great time, great show. Well, 4.5 hours long, 4 matches, and they put on a pretty good show. I think so. I'd like to have you start with your questions, and I'll kind of give my quick recap about how everything went and stuff.
So, and the name escapes me now. I know he won in 2015, and he won again last evening, whichever way you want to look at it. Mm-hmm. And I always wondered. I think he came in. He was announced number 27. He was 27th into the ring. Is it a differential in prize money? Let's say if you came in second, lasted 30, or too bad, so sad. You just get what you get.
I believe how it works is the prize, like the money, the prize money, that sort of stuff. If you make it to a specific show, you get an extra sum of money. I think the difference is really just on your annual salary. And then basically, depending on who you are, you might get some additional perks that not everybody else gets, meaning you get some additional time off. You may have a private jet that you can have access to. But I don't think that the winner of the Rumble gets any more per se than the guy that gets tossed out in 30 seconds. I think it's, it's part of their salary for the year and things like that. What's crazy to me is there's a lot of stories that with as much as they make, these performers, they still have a lot of stuff that they have to, their medical and stuff's taken care of and stuff, but there's still a lot of stuff that they have to pay for. Like there was a women's Royal Rumble match that started off the night. And because they're in Saudi Arabia, they had to wear outfits.
That's my next question. Was that because of where it took place?
They were never allowed to have women perform ever until several years ago. And so they're making progress, but they're still having, so they had to create basically their outfits with the outfit team and everything like that, and their costumes, design and stuff. But stories were leaked that they had to pay out of pocket for their outfit for the Royal Rumble.
That's ridiculous.
That just seems a little bit ridiculous because maybe because it's for one night, they're not going to wear it as often. But it's the little things like that. I don't think all their travel is necessarily always covered and stuff. So it seems like a great life. But this little tour they were on, they did 2 weeks overseas, came back to Montreal, did a show there, and then went straight to Saudi Arabia. Like that's a lot of miles without getting home for 3 weeks.
Yep.
So I was really surprised to see that, But
and how was the attendance? Because it was very weird. It looked like there was empty seats, or it wasn't. I don't know if that was the lighting or whatever. Because see, you're making me get more interested in it now. Thank you. And so I was like, but I was at work, so I was just trying to glance over, when it was going on.
So, no, it's a great point. So as we're watching the show start, I was like, okay, I know that some events when they're on, the crowd looks kind of small because it's still early, traffic getting in, but it legitimately looked like there was 50 people in this stadium. Now, for context, the stadium was dirt. On January the 2nd, it was dirt. There was nothing there. And by January 31st, they had the entire stadium going, the lights, everything, approval, all that stuff. They must have worked 24 hours around the clock to get this thing done. So what happened was they had this, like the Intuit Dome that's in Los Angeles or Vegas, they had the similar setup there in Saudi Arabia. But they decided we're going to have these cool looking lights that are going to make it even more effective on TV. Well, the problem was when you're watching it from home, it looked like you're just staring at a bunch of lights and there was not a single person.
That's exactly what.
Yeah, it was only when the spotlight went over that section that you could see that there were people there. But then as soon as the spotlight passed them, there was nobody left. There was nobody there. So I think about the second match, they realized we need to turn the lights up in the arena a little bit, and it wasn't as bad. But that first match or two was rough. And I had people messaging me like, why didn't nobody go to the show? It was just the whole thing, So
that proves I was watching.
Great questions. I was 4 for 4 with my picks. I did drop a video on Monday before I got sick with my prediction. So I was 4 for 4 with the winners. So that's cool. So I always said that that's another calling. I could easily be on the creative team. I would love that. But so the first match I was correct. I chose Liv Morgan. She did win the Rumble. She deserved it. This is a lady who 3 out of the last 3 years was in the top 2, the final 2, and the final 3. So she was always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? So she got the opportunity this year with a lot of the big stars. Some of the big stars not in it due to injury, but or also they're involved in other storylines. And so she is someone who 5 years ago they would call them a curtain jerker, meaning they come out first, they get no reaction, they're not very good in the ring. And she's made so much improvements with her skills on the mic and the ring, all that good stuff. So she is very deserving. She's had a lot of success in Saudi Arabia too. Like I think she has not lost a single match there in all the shows that they've had. So I was very happy to see her win. And it was a pretty good match. They had Brie Bella came back, which she hasn't been there for several years. So it was good to see her. But my water.
Did they hear me?
No, didn't hear you.
Do you need water?
Yes, I do.
Cola!
So I'm going to cough for the next 30 seconds. So, Darren, did you have another question while I'm coughing?
No, I would say no. I just want to here's kind of your feel for it. But I do have a general question that is not distinctly related to Royal Rumble. But in your professional opinion, how long does it take to come up with a storyline to get it to actually working, to get it implemented? Is it like a typical 6 weeks, 6 months, a year?
So if you're a top guy, they're like, oh, let's try this and this makes sense and let's do that. And then each time we get together, we'll enhance it, we'll make it bigger, we'll make it better. If you're like a mid-card guy or an opener, it feels like it takes you a lot longer. You have to kind of talk the bosses into it. You got to prove yourself first. So an idea could take years because they're like, oh, we got to trust you first that you can handle this and you know what you can do it in the ring and all that good stuff. So thank you. So I think that was the gist of it is based on, got to put the time in, all that sort of stuff. And then, but they have so many members of the creative writing team. And one thing that's nice about it is their WWE knows how to tell stories, whereas AEW is more about just their in-ring action, and they're not really caring about why people are fighting. And I think that's why the ratings are reflecting that. So, but getting back to the Rumble real quick, Liv Morgan won the Rumble. Happy for her there. Then we went to Gunther and AJ Styles. And hi, Mom. I'm not sure if that was a typo, but you said, "Hey, Darren, is it colder by you? Toys R Us."
Toys R Us. Yep. But we knew what she meant.
Yeah, we know what she meant. Yes.
Yep.
But thanks, Mom, for watching. Appreciate you. So second match, Gunther faced AJ Styles in the retirement match, and the crowd was definitely behind AJ Styles the whole night, and people just didn't want to believe that someone as talented as AJ Styles could be retiring, even though he's 47. Looks like he's got 5 to 10 years left easily. But sometimes people are just they want to go out on top, like Friends, like Seinfeld, although their series finale was bad. But sometimes shows want to go out on top. They couldn't put more content out there. So AJ probably could continue working, but he's like, you know what? This is like my high point. I'm going to go out now. He may show up on another promotion. I hope not, because I don't feel like they would do him justice with the stories. It would just be matches and him, taking additional beating. So I'd like to see him take some time off and then maybe come back as like a writer or creative team guy or something like trainer. But I do believe we won't see him in the ring with WWE anymore. But he did say WWE, so it is open. They did a tease at the end of the match where he took his gloves off and he was going to put them in the ring, which symbolizes retirement. But then right before he did, he put them back on, celebrated, and left the ring. So that could mean he's still going to wrestle elsewhere, or that could mean whatever. But so, and
always leave him hanging.
Everybody sing along. We all love Jeffrey. Yes, we all love Jeffrey and Toys R Us kids. But at the end of the match, Gunther puts the sleeper on, the choke sleeper on AJ. and he gets up, he fights it. And unlike John Cena, he does not tap out, but he passes out. And unfortunately, fans of AJ Styles, he is no longer with the WWE. He loses the match. Gunther is now officially retired. Goldberg, John Cena, and AJ Styles. So he is definitely the most hated man in the roster right now by a long shot. So Gunther goes on later that night to compete in the Rumble. But before that, we had the world title match between Sami Zayn, who is facing the champion, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, 11 straight victories over Sami Zayn. In fact, Sami's never defeated Drew McIntyre, and nothing different here. Drew dominated the match. I feel like we're going to see another year of Sami Zayn playing like underdog, and maybe he'll win it next year. But Drew holds on to the championship and will go on most likely to WrestleMania. And then from there, of course, was the main event, the men's Royal Rumble match. A lot of awesome spots in that match. We saw the debut of Powerhouse Hobbs from AEW. We saw stars from the Mexican company, which was AAA. We saw a couple other, Chad Gable or Grande Americano was there as well. But great showing. We had a mystery attacker attack Braun Breaker at the start of the match and curb stomped him. And so we don't know who that is. And so, but the final four was Logan Paul, who I feels like is a staple as a final four. We had Logan Paul. We had Roman Reigns, of course, in the final four. We had Gunther, and we had, I believe, Randy Orton was the final four. Actually wound up coming down to Roman Reigns and Gunther. And then, of course, Roman Reigns eliminates Gunther, who looked like he was banged up from his earlier match. So Roman Reigns points to the WrestleMania sign. Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. So now we're going to wait probably a month for him to decide if he's going to challenge Drew McIntyre, or what I think more likely is that he's going to challenge CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. So there you have it. 4 matches. Great show. I would give it a 6 out of 10. Some people give it a little higher. Still think some things didn't connect, whether it was the Saudi crowd. They didn't count down from 10 to 1. That's a problem. Like, that's when you go to the Royal Rumble, you go because you want.
That's part of it.
Numbers. Yeah, that's part of it. They cheered the guys. They sang their entrances, but like that was a big -2 points for me. And it just didn't seem like they were into it as much as some of the other crowds. Maybe it was because of an open air stadium. Sometimes the sound doesn't relay as much or as well on TV. But so yeah, there you have it. Royal Rumble recap. There's a million reviews out there, but that's my take on it. And we're on the road to WrestleMania. We've got the Elimination Chamber next month. Already had a few of the guys that came over yesterday. Are you going to be doing the Chamber? Are you going to be doing the Chamber? I was like, we'll see, but it was a good time. We had good turnout here, good fellowship and stuff like that. And I see a lot of chat about Gigi and Jeffrey Jr. in the chat. The important stuff here. They were not in the Rumble this year.
It should have been.
They should have been. Yeah. Yep. They should have been. So, Darren, I want to pass it to you so that way I can enjoy this lozenge here for a minute, but this cough drop. But I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask you. And I noticed the background change, so I'm glad that they let you out.
Yeah, once our brother got on, he was a cop. He got us out. He got me out.
He got you out. Yep. So I wanted to give you the floor here for a moment and just think back. We're on episode 142 now. So we've had 141 other episodes. So random, a lot of baseball content, a lot of random guests, a lot of just this and that. So just not favorite, not worst one. Just just close your eyes for a second and just pick a moment from one of the shows and let's talk about it. Because there's so much stuff that I'd love to go back in the archives one day and see what we did. And I'm going to enjoy this real quick.
Let's all watch Mike. Let's all watch Mike enjoys lozenge. No, so here's
what I was going to do though, Darren, real quick. I almost, when I was doing the countdown, like the 30-second countdown before the show, I was tempted because right next to the 30-second countdown was the 2-minute countdown. And I thought to myself, why don't I just continuously run countdowns and never actually go on camera and just see how long people would.
But why not? We should surprise people with that sometimes. Like, I would like that.
Okay.
Like a countdown to the countdown. Right?
Yeah.
We're doing a 30-second countdown to the 2-minute countdown. And no, I like it. So, there are so many moments off camera, off the microphone that were joyful, and there's so many on. And you know what? Really, we're just two knuckleheads who enjoy communicating, enjoy stories around the ballpark, right? And what do you talk about? We talk about baseball. We've talked about football. We've talked about, where's Chris this week? It just builds. It builds because that's what life is, right? Life is, here are my plans today. I'm going to do this. And you do it, but along the way, you do so many other things. And and some of the friends we made from here, right? You never know. Is it going to be, another podcaster like ourselves, or somebody who follows sports online, or an author, or somebody like, who wrote all those books about the Montreal Expos. You don't know who you're going to get. Former players. You're going to get somebody who was a strike player who thought that the whole world was cheering for him, and they were not, because they were just happy. He's a catcher. He's just happy that, baseball's coming back. There are just so many little stories. Eileen jumps on with us from time to time, and everybody's fun. And, just everything that happened with the Christmas extravaganza, just loved all of that. And I'm sorry, it's just, you're really the engine that makes it happen. I come across like Bobo the Clown, like that's my job, staring and yelling at clouds, and it's great. And, I really think this time next year, we're going to be extemporaneously bigger. I mean, we're going to be the kind of place that, we're going to need to get maybe 2 or 3 more times a week or whatever, because we're going to continue to do what we do because of the people that follow us, and it's an honor to work with them. Now, that might be a long-winded answer, but at least it made you finish your cough drop, and it's how I truly feel.
It's funny you say that because, a lot of content creators, they do post content out there daily or multiple times. So we're pretty set at the 2, but I am trying to start doing some additional videos here and there, shorter videos and stuff. But you're right. We may get to the point where a lot of channels too, they have their one show and then they have another show that's extension. It's still the Around the Ballpark concept, but there could be additional,
it's
guest on one day a week.
Yes.
Yeah. In the world. It's around the world. Yeah. So, but speaking of the person you're speaking of, happy birthday, Doug Ruppel. It is your birthday today.
Ooh,
so I did send you a message on Messenger. Yeah. So he's doing his thing. He's DJing, I think, 7 days a week, and enjoying life. And I'm excited to hit up Cleveland. If you're watching this, Doug, later, I'll be up in Cleveland in April. I'll have to get some long johns because it's going to be pretty cold. I don't know if it's going to be quite as cold as it was yesterday. My goodness. Last night, it was 24 degrees. The wind chill felt like it was 11.
That's not okay. Seriously, that's not okay. That's like up here. That's not okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But of course, we had our moment where we're 25, and of course everybody's like, "Oh, we're -5, we're -4." 28 degrees at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So it's we're going to have a cold week, but tomorrow is probably the last of like the Arctic cold for Florida. But we're powering through. We don't have the heavy jackets necessary to sustain that kind of cold. Well, we have sweatshirts and hoodies. So we're doing the best that we can. And
so I had a good friend I grew up with kind of talking about that stuff, and he used to get so, I think I might have mentioned this on our show before. He used to get he was a general contractor. And he used to get so angry at these people on like This Old House, some of those other, renovation shows who make it look so easy. Well, of course they make it look so easy. They got all the right equipment. It's always sunny. Everything is, they're never out of stock of anything because that's not the real world, right? And I don't know why I brought that up. But no, but my point is, you make this, what we do, look real easy, and you put a lot of work in. You really do.
I appreciate that. I couldn't think of doing it with anybody else. This has been a blast. I feel like we're just shy of the 2-year mark. Like I think it was April of 24.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about 22 months in. So that's really awesome growth for that time. So we're really, really proud of that. And, and really excited this coming Thursday, episode 143. I'll do a quick plug here. We had this gentleman on back in the day. I believe it was episode number 5, I think it was. And I feel like that might have been one that you were not part of, Darren. I think Eileen was on with me. But Aaron Edwards Hall, the author of his first new book that was published, The How Ain't None of Your Business. So he's going to be on with us Thursday night, 9:00. He's on a cruise right now, as he is often, but he'll be back with us, and he's going to talk about his book, and we're going to catch up to see how he's been doing the different comedy skits on all different cruises. He's been all over the world. He's been on Comedy Central. He's been on HBO specials. He's done things with Kevin Hart and many, many others. So really, really cool
I love that.
To catch up with him. And
that's your friend from that's the gentleman you both met on the cruise, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
And back then, that cruise that he was on back then, he actually had to sell the tickets himself. Like he had to actually walk around the deck and ask people if they would want tickets. Like the cruise itself didn't even do that for him. So he had to really hustle to get that. And I remember we were sitting out on the deck and he approached us and we're and for a first minute we were like, I don't know, it's adult comedy. We weren't quite sure if we should go. And I'm so glad that we did. So definitely going to be a good time on Thursday. So I'll be plugging that in the middle of this week. So make sure you're here for that.
I look forward to that because I love comedians and I love entrepreneurs and I love people who say, you know what, I can do it. And even if you fall short, I mean, you just got to maximize what you got. You learn something from it.
Yep. And he is a assistant pastor as well at his local church for when he's available. So it's going to be a great time. Definitely make sure you're there. Mark your calendars for that one. But yeah, so going back into the realm of all the episodes that we did, I have so much fun. Love having guests on, but I love the episodes where it's just us with a random topic. Those are a lot of fun. One episode that stands out, we had Jordan Bonilla on. He actually was preached at our evening meeting tonight at the church that we had. And that was so much fun. We had the wheel of randomness and
love that
wheel and not sure. He gave us an idea of some things he was into. So it wasn't super random stuff, but we had a great time with that. And I remember, forget who it was, but we had another guest lined up for the following show and they reached out to me and they were like, I don't know if I could do this. I wouldn't be good at that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, no, that was just for Jordan.
That was a one-off.
Yeah, it's a one-off. We'll do it again for someone else. But so they got a little nervous about that. So, but that was one that stood out to me. I had a great time when we had the back in the day, episode 3. We had, and the day he did come back on one more time, but we met with Wrigley Dan and his son in Chicago. So that was a blast. They both showed us their collection, and he's got a long way to go, but he's definitely on his way at his young age. The amount of balls he gets per game is pretty amazing, considering I've been to about 30 games and I've had one.
Well, you've had 100% more than me.
That's really, yeah. And I got lucky because it was in the seat when I sat down. Like I didn't catch it or anything. Now Eileen has 2. When we went to the game in Boston, she got one from Randy Rosarena and from the other Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley, who's now I think with the Twins. So it's the Rays are about to have their big fan fest. I'm like, is there anyone left on the team from the original roster? I don't think so.
Don't worry, they have a plan. They have a
plan too. They have a plan too. Yes. But and then another episode that really stands out to me, we did the top 10. Remember, we did a top 10 of the most ridiculous rules in baseball, and I didn't know about most of them. They caught me completely off guard. So we do one thing about the show, guys, too, is when we do this show, we don't just go on and just like we do a little bit of research and stuff. And I learned a lot just preparing for that episode. So that was a good time for sure. And then I'll never forget our very first episode with Locked On Rockies podcast.
Yep.
And I remember I did because we had determined, okay, we're going to try this podcast thing, and we set a date. And for 3 weeks, I studied Rockies history like you wouldn't believe. I was ready to go for that one. And he was such a good guest to have on. And
he really was
doing pretty well for himself. And, I know it's probably, we complained about being Mets fans. And here's the thing. Do you ever think about that, Darren? Like, we complain Mets have issues with this and that, but like, at least they're making moves. Like some teams, all they get is a minor league pitcher or a non-roster invitee, and that's it. Like, so when you put that into perspective, it's like, okay, yeah.
No, you're definitely right. And when those teams, and they will one day win, it's going to be that much more joyful for those people. It really will, But no, you're right. But see, the problem is that a lot of localities don't have what we had, rooting for, say, a New York team, because there's another New York team. And, when your team loses and the team in the same city wins, seventh grade math class is not going to be fun. You know that the lunchroom, you're going to get chirped. You just are.
Yep.
Hey, great game last night. Can I please eat my bologna sandwich on Tasty Bread? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Tasty Bread, horrible.
Horrible stuff. And Danny, thank you for joining us as well. Thank you for hitting that like button. And if you haven't hit that like button, please do. It really helps the algorithm and helps us get to our goals a little bit quicker. And please, if you know anybody that has not yet subscribed, please ask them to check us out. They can check us out first if they want before, but I hope that they would find that they like what we do here, because there's really no set format. And sometimes that could be a detriment to a channel, and sometimes it won't be. And we don't really care, because we do this just because we have a good time hanging out, talking about things. And so if it's not your cup of tea, then fine, but at least give us a try. Hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, even though we always go live Thursday nights at 9, Sunday nights at 8. Still turn those notifications on, because sometimes life gets in the way, or watch us the next day. That's perfectly fine too. But I mentioned, just another quick plug, I mentioned Locked On Rockies podcast on Thursday, Sunday the 15th. So 2 weeks from today, the Locked On Capitals, the Washington Capitals, will be our guest that night. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be our third Locked On. We've had Locked On Rockies, we've had Locked On Reds. So I'll be having the Locked On Capitals. And then as part of our 30 clubs or 30 parks in 30 days, that starts back up next month, we'll have the Locked On Nationals as well, has agreed to join us. So a lot of cool stuff coming up. So keep an eye out. So do you have another podcast that comes off just off the top of your head that you remember from our 140 some odd episodes that we've had now that stands out?
I loved the one, was it when we hit 2,000 or 3,000, where we had a lot of our former guests on. And then it ended up, we had Mike North and Christopher Gabriel on at the same time. And you and I literally, I don't want to speak for you, but we were able to, that's right, all the cool kids hit that like button. She's right. But speaking of the word kids, you and I were like two kids watching two masters do what they do. To me, it was like taking a course, just watching them, and
yes.
I also made me think, and I mean this with no hubris and in the most, jovial way, unbragging way, that I think we got that, in what we do. It's just be who you are, be authentic, come prepared, and just have a good time. And that's what it was. I think that was one of the highlights. And then it
was. And I think the only difference between us, because I think the only difference between us and them is we come up for air. I think that's
true.
It was good information, but it was a good solid 35 minutes where I was like, oof. It was all good though. Like I got a lot.
Look at it this way: if you could have had your lodgings, right? You could have had your lodgings. You just that I could have shaved, but good.
You could have retired. You could have played a couple tunes on your piano back there. So
that's right.
But I know. another one, so again, we hear around the ballpark, and it's not just sports related. There's so much stuff. We were fortunate to have a few different. We had the folks over at a couple different of the haunt attraction places on as guests.
I was going to mention that too, that you came up with that wonderful idea. And I think that is now a staple of who we are. Like, we have to get bigger every year now with coverage of Halloween and haunted stuff. And it was great. It was so much fun.
Yep. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and getting to go. I think
you just looked like you were doing a ransom note, looking up, like the terrorists were looking at you, and you better say things correctly. That was a little scary right now. I was like, is Tom Cruise coming in on the table?
There was someone snoring, but it was our cat. It was on the couch snoring. So I was like, am I snoring live on the podcast? But apparently it was the cat. So that's good. But yeah, so that was super cool. I remember we got into a little bit of hockey. We hadn't had a hockey guest on for quite a while. And I think it was the episode where we met with the individual from the Vancouver Canucks. We had a good time with him. And then the Edmonton Oilers right after that. So I got a little bit of an introduction to hockey. And and it's been kind of a busy 2 or 3 weeks, but there was a good week there where I watched a hockey game, probably 5 out of 6 nights in a row. So definitely want to make sure I have some time. Now, they're about to go into their break, right, for the Olympics here pretty soon?
For the Olympics, yep. And that'll be for a couple of weeks, obviously, about 15 days. And then they'll come back. And now this is the time of year hockey gets really interesting, because it's the playoffs come in April. I mean, that's right around the corner. And it is some of the most exciting time is playoff hockey from April through June. From April, and it's tough. We wear each other down. It's really interesting. I don't know. I love that we're gonna have hockey. I wanted to bring up something before we run out of time. And it's something that you've said many times on the show. And that is that you always root or were always interested in the up and coming, the minor leagues, the this, the that. And you mentioned that with the Christmas extravaganza and some of the other things. And
I have something to share when you're done to share about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what I wanted to see this year, and we both strategize and go Solar Bears, which I do want to see, because one of our potential guests played against them. I want to continue to do that, to bring unknown people on here and help get them known so they can get established. But I also want to bring some more professional athletes, people from television shows, more, names that people might know, so we can expand. And I think we can do both. I don't think we need to be one or the other. And I think that's fun, and just still be the knuckleheads that we are.
Yeah. So, and I know you have a couple contacts that potentially could come on. I know you mentioned the former second baseman of the Boston Red Sox, perhaps, and
the former player for the Washington Capitals. I have that in my mind.
It would be great if he could come on the 15th. That would be awesome. But
that's what I want to do. Yeah, that would be great. If he could just pop on for 10 minutes. Boy, he was such an impact player with the Capitals in terms of being an enforcer and a fan favorite.
We call it. I think also, finding those guests and just takes one sometimes to just kind of, and then it just So definitely will be on the lookout for that. But like you said, I do still want to tap into hockey a little bit. Love having fans on. I do like having other podcasters on, because it's like a unique perspective. I'm grateful I got an opportunity sometime in the next week or two. I'll be doing my first guest starring on the podcast for a wrestling product. And so that's going to be kind of cool for a wrestling podcast.
Love that.
So excited about that. But, I'd like to dive a little bit into the basketball world. That's not my jam, but there are some people out there that are basketball fans. I'd like to, kind of touch base on that. So we got some plans, definitely in the woodwork. and stuff like that. Joe, what are you? If you're still watching, are you a Rangers fan, or are you mostly just a hockey fan in general, or do you actually have a team? Because is there a correlation, Darren? Let me ask you this: does your like with baseball, if typically if you're a Mets, you're a Jets, if you're a Yankees, you're a Giants, does that apply where you're a Mets, you're a Rangers, if you're a Yankees, you're an Islanders, or how is that like?
Okay, so the way it works with it, if you're a Met fan from Long Island, you're an Islander fan. Any place else, you're a Ranger fan.
No way.
Okay. Now I can confirm, speaking of, you mentioned maybe some actors and stuff. So you do have somebody in mind, like on the actor front to you, or
Yeah,
contact?
yeah. I mean, so, but Joe, for example, Joe, have you ever seen the show Shoresy? Anybody out there seen the show Shoresy?
I have not seen Shoresy, but I have seen this movie. Now, this one here.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good one. Yes, Matt and Paddington Visit Antarctica, starring Matt Damon, Paddington Bear. Looks like a good flick. I'm not gonna lie. Comes out this fall in theaters near me. But yeah, so looking forward to that.
I can't wait to see that movie because this is why Paddington wears that raincoat, because that slicker is good for anything. Look at it.
Yep. And yep. And
do we know why they visited Antarctica? Was it like to take photos? Was it?
It says it's an adventure to the end of the earth. So apparently they just want to, not a journey to the center of the earth. They just want an adventure to near the end of the earth. So I think is what is going on here. Yeah. So
if you're born in Antarctica and then you're taking that's not the end; it's your beginning.
I don't know how everybody else.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So this might be a limited theater release. I'm just
maybe So, I love that. So yeah, anyway, there's a TV show called Shoresy out there, people, and it is not for kids, but it's very, very. Hey, Michael, and one of the actors on that show, I know I've had him on my other show a few times, and I've seen them a couple times. Shoresy, the TV show Shoresy right now is going around to different NHL rinks. And they're playing against alumni. They played against Islander alumni, Bruins alumni, the Calgary Flames alumni, Edmonton Oil alumni, Chicago Blackhawk alumni. And one of the guys from the show who played in the AHL for years, John Morasti, who fought a lot. He also played in the KHL. And he is one of the gyms on the show Shoresy. So there's a whole line named Jim. So there's just three guys named Jim, and there's a whole routine where they're like, all right, you'll be Jimbo, you'll be Jim Bob, you'll be Jimmy. Nope, we want to be Jim. So it's a very, look it up on YouTube if you ever want to. But I'm pretty sure we can get him on because he's such a nice gentleman. Yep.
That's awesome. Keep me in the loop. I'm excited for that.
Because that'll be hockey and an actor, and then I've had on our other show the person who wrote the book on Showtime about the LA Lakers. It was an HBO an HBO series called Winning Time. I've had him on. I'm going to invite him on. So we have a lot of things in the works.
Awesome. Yeah. And so, and knowing the dates that we do this, so we'll just, we stay in contact with, hey, I got a guest for this day and guest for that day and stuff. We actually had back on the hockey front, I had a guest that wanted to come on, but unfortunately those 2 days that they can't do it. So trying to work out, alternative plans and stuff can be difficult, but some big things happening, excited for it. And again, looking to hopefully get some merch out by April is the hope. So keep you posted with that as well. But as I know we're starting to come to the end. Oh, and I see there, so Joe said Rangers, Yankees, Giants, and Knicks. So does that mean it's Mets, Jets, Islanders?
But again, see, we're going to show age here because remember something. The Yankees and the Giants both used to play at Giants Stadium. The Nets used to play in Long Island. So, that's part of it. The Jets played in Long Island. I mean, we played in Queens. let's be honest, people, geography, Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island are all on Long Island. So there's some geographical crossover with that. But yes, he's right.
Okay, cool. And yes, Michael, thanks for coming by this Saturday. Had a great time with everybody at the Rumble. We were going to go outside, true story, but because it was 25 degrees and the wind was intense, like every time someone else would get to the house, it was like 5 degrees cooler. So, yeah.
Yep.
So, but,
Before we go,
and Mark, yes. I actually had my note here, so don't worry, I didn't forget. Mark Larry Quinte, congratulations.
This is a teaser,
Mark.
kid.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
And thanks for coming Saturday as well, and Heather as well. But yeah, pleasant surprise. We, that we got the 4,000. I could have put it off and brought some guests back. I was like, you know what? The two of us, let's just knock this thing out and celebrate 4,000 subscribers, 142 episodes. So appreciate it. And
thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, I love hosting. It's an awesome time, and so looking forward to the next one. But so Darren, I have two things before we end the show. I wanted to leave just enough time for both these things. So I'd like you to mention the photo that you just shared there. So I want you to share about that because I have a question. So if you want to kind of preface it, and then I'll share what my question is, and then we'll end with that as well.
Oh, can't wait for that.
Okay.
So, ready?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody, one of my staff, and they don't want the name mentioned. So Sarah Davis, I won't mention your name, Sarah Davis. So here's the thing. So she makes these from scratch. And so she made them for all of the clients in the house that I am blessed to run for, that I run for those who are PWS, Prader-Willi syndrome. And totally free. She doesn't want any money, but she's willing to make one of these for somebody that can answer any trivia from Mike. You have to, I guess, private message you maybe. Is that the way you want it? How would you want it? And just tell us what color you want. We'll have this made for you. Mike will give us your address and we'll ship it right out. It is incredibly thick. It really is. They are fantastic. They're free. You pick the color. Doesn't matter. You'll get the color you like. And it's got a great one of these bad boys. So.
And so what they can do is they can put that answer in the chat, the first with the correct answer. Even if it's after we get off here live, I will keep refreshing those comments, and then I will be in touch with the person that gets the correct answer. So I'll put it that way. So here is the question. Are you ready, folks? Now, we do allow you to do some research. If you don't know the answer right off the top, that's okay. But we had one of the guests. Now, I believe, Darren, that you were not actually available for this particular episode, but because we're celebrating some of our episodes. So we had on back in the day, there was an early episode guest, and this is a little bit after we started going live, because I don't know if you remember, but the first 35 episodes were recorded, but then starting with episode 36, we started going live. But back in the day, we had an Atomic Legacy Wrestling superstar, a masked superstar, who was competing for the hardcore, or I believe it was called the ALLW Hardcore Championship, I believe at the time. But he was our first masked luchador guest on the show, and we were happy to have him. And he went on a 22-minute rant, cutting a promo on his opponent, who was in the chat at the time, and they were going back, and it was all in fun, but it was going back and forth in the chat. And I probably could have left the table, went to McDonald's, came back, and he still would have been in the middle of that promo. But who was this guest? What was his name? Yes, it was in a title of our video, so you can check the archives. But see if you can remember without doing that.
That is a deep question. That's great.
Yeah. See if you can think of the name of this masked luchador who had a great appearance this past Saturday night here in Melbourne, Florida.
Oh, there it is.
We have a winner, it looks like.
We have a winner. I was part of that show. I remember that.
Yes. Yes, but so we'll be in touch with your prize. And And
Joe, what color do you want? Ooh.
yes, let us know the color. Yep.
Yes. I'm not going to tell you that Sarah Davis will make it for you. But yes, there it is. And it's great.
He was actually our third guest that we did have on in the wrestling world. We had, of course, Jerry Swirls, and then we had Justin Credible as well. But yeah, he was El Ridiculoso was a lot of fun, and definitely would love to have him back on again. I know he's busy winning championships and does a lot of great artwork and stuff as well. So
it's beautiful. I loved having him. I can't wait to have him again. And much like you referenced, do you remember what his favorite word was?
Opportunity.
The next word. He loved.
I don't know the second.
No, the next one. He loved talking.
Yes.
He kept trying to get in there, but he was a wonderful guest. He was brilliant. It was great.
That's right. I think because I couldn't remember. I know Brian hopped on, so Brian must have been on with Justin Credible, and then you were on then with El Ridiculous. So that's right. So we got this. Yep, that's another one of his.
We got this. Yep.
And Joe, let us know in the chat. Did he successfully defend his championship? I think he was in a fatal 4-way at the 9-year anniversary show that just took place on Saturday. Let us know in the comments if he did win the match. But yes, Joe, you are the winner of that prize. So
and he wants Yankee Blue.
Yankee Blue, yes. So the price just went up. Okay. But just in time for spring training because we have the right kind of weather for it here. So, but yeah. So thank each and every one of you guys for hopping.
I got the quick question. You wanted to ask me a question.
Oh yeah, the question. I can't forget.
Real quick, I'll give you one that's kind of similar to ones we've asked in the past, but because you were a little under the weather this week. And we knew that the question would be coming. It made me think when you were a child, I'd say under the age, when you were in grammar school, say under the age of 9 or 10, what was a show that you used to watch that if nobody was around and the TV was on, to this day, you would sit and watch? And tell me, what was it about the show you really liked?
And it had to be 9 or 10, you would say?
Up to, I don't know, 13. How about that? 13.
Okay, so and then that I would only watch if nobody was around, you were saying?
Well, just if nobody was around, because it could be embarrassing, right? I mean, like, hey, hold on, guys, I'm watching Electric Company, but you can sit there, it doesn't matter.
So, I mean... So let me think because it can't be wrestling because like at that age, like that's the age of the fandom and stuff like that. So definitely wouldn't say that.
You're right. Joe's right. Joe's right.
Yeah.
Joe's right.
Nonstop. Yep. That's a good call. Luckily, I was only 5 then, so that was disqualified as an answer to that one. I mean, it's hard to think back one that I would be embarrassed about because.
Well, I want to say this. I'll give you one for me. Seriously, I'll give you one for me. To this day, it's the morning. I'm coming up and get a cup of coffee, and if there's nobody's around, and all of a sudden I see Mr. Rogers is on, I'll watch. I'll sit there and still watch. The guy still captivates me. That's what I mean by embarrassed. Like that kind of thing.
Gotcha. And I see Mom.
Mr. Rogers, yes. See.
Yep. I think it might be Fraggle Rock. It might be Fraggle Rock.
Great show. Come to Fraggle Rock. Come on.
The question was a show at the age of 9 or 10 that I would love that maybe I didn't watch around everybody else, but I would love it. But then, yeah. But then if I came back, I would still watch it to this day kind of thing.
Yep.
Blue's Clues.
Love Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues is another choice.
I listen to Blue's Clues host Steve's podcast every week.
I was never a Barney fan, though.
No, Barney, bye. Nope.
No Barney's. No.
I don't want
Franklin. That was
great show. Come on, Franklin. Yes. Yeah, I like Rugrats. Rugrats was good.
Yeah.
If you remember Rugrats, that was good. But okay. I'll take that. I'll take those answers.
Okay. Thank you for accepting those answers. Appreciate it. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure you're here Thursday, 9:00. You don't want to miss that episode with Aaron Edwards Hall, author, pastor, comedian, man of many hats. It's going to be a great time. So looking forward to that. Until next time, guys, enjoy this Super Bowl coming up this coming Sunday. Actually, so we'll get together before that, but that's a week away if that's your thing. But thank you so much for making us a part of your night. And until next time, we will see you around the ballpark. Bye, guys.